Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Matt.
And I'm Sam.
And today we're looking at day 2 of our article called The Eastern Grass Owl, Taiwan's Flying Apple.
Yes, and in part 1, we learned a little bit about these owls and what makes them special and how one of the interesting points is that they don't live up in the trees. They live down on the grass, and so they actually build their nests and their homes on the ground in fields around kind of the southern parts of Taiwan. And I find this really interesting that Taiwan seems to have a few different bigger birds that are more on the ground, because there's also that one big brown bird that I always see at the parks, and it's always not moving and very, very still, and then you walk past it and didn't even notice it, and it'll flap its wings or walk away or something. And it scares me every time, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, you do commonly see that in parks. I think it's called a bittern. And yeah, you often see them in parks, and especially at night when they're more active.
Yes, and so I think it's very interesting because, again, it's a bit of a larger bird, but doesn't really hang out in the trees, just kind of hangs out around on the grass, and every once in a while you see it grab a worm or something like that.
Well,
cool.
Taiwan has a lot of beautiful birds, and even the national bird, which you sometimes see on some national symbols, is very pretty. It's a blue magpie.
Oh, yes.
And I remember when I first came to Taiwan, I had a visa to come here in my passport, and on that visa there was a picture of the blue magpie.
Oh, very cool. I do really like to see them. I think they're very pretty and very just cool looking. But sometimes magpies can be a little bit annoying and try to attack you if you get too close to their nest. But overall, they're very pretty.
That's right. Okay, well, let's get into today's article and learn some more about the eastern grass owl.
Unfortunately, the eastern grass owl is under threat, and it's believed that there are fewer than 500 individuals in the wild. Because it lives on the ground instead of in trees, this owl is especially sensitive to changes in its environment, such as when fields are cleared for farming or building. Another reason for the bird's shrinking population is the use of pesticides to kill rats and mice on farms. These chemicals poison the owl too. In addition, grass owls face threats from stray animals and bird nets. However, many steps have been taken to help this special bird. Government agencies, conservation groups, and local farmers are now working together to monitor the owl population and protect important grasslands.
Hi there. Today we are looking at day 2 of our article called The Eastern Grass Owl, Taiwan's Flying Apple.
Yes, and so let's go ahead and get right into the article and see what else we can learn about them. And so if we read, we see, unfortunately, the eastern grass owl is under threat, and it's believed that there are fewer than 500 individuals in the wild. So that might be a pretty big reason why I've never seen one, and probably many people have not seen one, because it says, unfortunately, they're under threat. So there aren't that many still around. This word, unfortunately, it is the opposite of fortunately, which basically means luckily. So unfortunately means unluckily, or something that happens that is not something good and maybe a little bit unexpected and just not in a good way. So of course, we would hope that all animals have good populations and are thriving and things like that. And when it isn't that way, then we might say, well, unfortunately, there aren't that many left in the wild. And an example sentence is, unfortunately, the results were not what Melissa expected. So she was maybe hoping for something good, a good test score or a good doctor's report or something like that. And unfortunately, that is not what she got.
All right, continuing with this article. Because it lives on the ground instead of in trees, this owl is especially sensitive to changes in its environment, such as when fields are cleared for farming or building.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if you're going to basically remove its homes whenever you're clearing a field, then that's going to make it very hard for these animals to survive.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to Hanny now.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 今天要继续介绍飞行的苹果，也就是东方草鸮。课文提到，遗憾的是，东方草鸮正面临威胁，据信野外的个体数量不到500只。那由于它们住在地面上，对环境的变化特别敏感，像人们可能会为了农耕啊，或者是建筑而破坏田地，那就会影响到它们。好，补充一下 ，Sam 老师在讲到动物数量的兴衰时，他有用到 thrive 这个动词。Thrive 可以表达茁壮成长或者是繁荣。那课文单字 unfortunately 这个副词它表示不幸地、令人遗憾地。好，这边还有一个重点是 it's believed 再加 that 子句，表示一般认为怎么样，据信怎么样怎么样。那句型中的 it 是虚主词，真正的主词是 that 子句。那这边它是用被动语态来表示普遍客观的立场。我们也可以把 that 子句的主词移到句首，然后后面接不定词 to be， 那就会改写成主词 be believed to 加上原形动词。例如 It is believed that the temple is over 800 years old. 也可以说 The temple is believed to be over 800 years old. 一般认为那座寺庙有超过800年的历史。好，那解华课文中。
All right, thank you, Hanny. And now let's look at another reason why these birds are under threat. And it says, another reason for the birds' shrinking population is the use of pesticides to kill rats and mice on farms. Oh, yes, because we did learn earlier that that is their main food source. So I guess if there's chemicals on them, then they're going to eat those chemicals.
These chemicals poison the owl too. In addition, grass owls face threats from stray animals and bird nets. Okay, when we talk about the stray animals, I know that I have heard before that stray cats, so cats without owners, are a big problem for wild birds, especially birds that have nests on the ground, because it's very easy for the cats to attack the birds or their young babies when their nests are right there on the ground.
Yes, actually stray cats really do cause a lot of trouble because they eat pretty much anything they can catch, and they like to catch anything they can. So they can definitely make some trouble in a local area. And so if we continue on, it says, however, many steps have been taken to help this special bird. Okay, so at least the government is aware of it, and we are aware that this is happening, so they can try to help.
So back to the article, government agencies, conservation groups, and local farmers are now working together to monitor the owl population and protect important grasslands. Okay, so we said government agencies. So an agency is a company or individual that acts on behalf of someone else. It can also mean just a department of the government or an office of the government that does one particular thing. So in this case, it's probably a part of the government that is tasked with conserving animals. So for an example sentence, the travel agency helped the family book their entire trip.
Yes, and then also in that sentence, they talked about these different groups monitoring the owls to make sure that they are still going to be okay and see what they need to do to help them. And this word monitor, if you are monitoring something, then you are making sure that that thing is kept safe. So you're keeping an eye on it in order to kind of watch and protect in some way, or to check for some result that might happen. For example, you might monitor a patient who comes into the hospital and double check that they aren't going to get worse. They're going to monitor their condition, and then later you are going to make sure they're okay. In this case, we are monitoring the eastern grass owl to make sure that the population stays up. And our example sentence says, cameras are used to monitor the street by our house. So we're using these cameras to keep track of what's happening outside on the street to make sure that there is nothing that we need to be aware of or anything dangerous that could maybe come by to our house.
Okay, let's go to Hanny now.
东方草鸮数量减少的另外一个原因是农场使用了杀死老鼠的农药，那这些化学物质也会毒害到草鸮。此外，草鸮还面临着来自流浪动物和捕鸟网的威胁。不过幸好人们已经采取很多措施来帮助这种鸟类。政府机关、保育团体还有当地农民现在也正共同努力来监测它们的数量，保护重要的草原。好，单字 agency 它可以表达政府行政机关啊、局、处、属，或者是表达代理机构。这时候 Shane 老师有用到 on behalf of 加上名词，这可以表达作为什么的代表，或者是代替什么什么。下一个单字 monitor 在这边当动词，表示监测、监控，也可以表达密切注意。好，那这边有一个重点是 in addition， 它是副词片语，表示此外而且，它就跟 besides、also、additionally 意思和用法相同。例如 The location of the hotel is excellent. In addition, the staff are friendly and helpful. 那间饭店的地点绝佳。此外啊，工作人员很友善又乐于助人。一个延伸学习是 in addition to， 它是片语接系词，后面则是接名词或动名词来表达除了点点点之外还有什么，像是 in addition to swimming, she enjoys tennis and hiking. 除了游泳之外，她还喜欢网球和健行。好，那我们接回课文中。
And we're back. So we've learned some more about these eastern grass owls and what makes them special, but also that they are unfortunately going away. Maybe there's only 500 left in the wild, so it's good that some people are doing some things to save them. So we're going to learn a bit more about them after this break.
Some farmers have started to use artificial perches to attract these owls as natural rodent controllers, which helps reduce the need for dangerous chemicals in the environment. Thanks to continued conservation efforts and public awareness, the eastern grass owl has been given a better chance of survival. Therefore, there is still hope that future generations will hear the mysterious calls of these flying apples echoing across Taiwan's grasslands at night.
Okay, so we are back, and we had just been looking at how there are fewer and fewer of these eastern grass owls and how we can kind of protect them and see what are our options to try to help them. Of course, we have some government agencies that are monitoring their levels, but there is still more that we can do.
Let's find out what we can do. Some farmers have started to use artificial perches to attract these owls as natural rodent controllers, which helps reduce the need for dangerous chemicals in the environment. Okay, so these farmers have made artificial perches. And something that is artificial is something that is not naturally occurring in nature, so it is man-made. It's been made by people. So these perches, which are the things that owls stand on, or any birds stand on as a perch, these are being made by the farmers so that the owls can help out the farmers by catching rodents. So we have an example sentence. Many artificial colors and flavors are illegal in Europe.
Now this seems like a very good way to do this because they said increase in pesticides is also affecting the owls since they eat the mice that have been poisoned by the pesticide, and then that affects the owls as well. But still, farmers have to get rid of the rodents in their fields. So if they can bring back more of the owls, then they can kind of help naturally control the different rodents around. And then pesticides go down, population goes up, and everything kind of balances out a little bit better.
That's right. All right, now we're going to give it to Hanny.
除了监测数量、保护重要草原，有一些农民已经开始用人工栖架来吸引这一些草鸮作为天然的啮齿动物控制者。这样一来，就可以减少农药的需求，减少在环境当中使用危险化学物质。好，我们来看单字 artificial， 它是形容词，形容人工的、人造的。而文中用到 perch 当名词来表达鸟的栖架或者是栖息处。那我们接回课文中。
Thanks, Annie. So we just talked about how farmers are actually helping out now with conserving these owls, whereas before they were kind of doing things that would harm the owls by using pesticides to kill rodents, but now they're helping the owls so that the owls can help the farmers kill the rodents so they don't need to use those pesticides anymore.
Yes, and so if we continue reading, it says, thanks to continued conservation efforts and public awareness, the eastern grass owl has been given a better chance of survival. So now they're saying, okay, hopefully because of all of this, it won't just disappear or become extinct. It has a better chance of staying around or surviving. And so a lot of this is due to awareness. And this word is just the noun form of the word aware. If you are aware of something, you know about it. So if there is awareness about this topic, then people know about it. Maybe before they hadn't heard about it yet, they hadn't read the news yet, and now once they did or they learn about it, now they have awareness of this topic. They know about it. So an example sentence is, the police want to increase awareness of online safety for teenagers. The police know that this is a problem, but maybe the teenagers are not aware of it yet. They don't know about it yet. So the police are going to do something to increase the awareness among these teenagers.
Let's continue with our article. Therefore, there is still hope that future generations will hear the mysterious calls of these flying apples echoing across Taiwan's grasslands at night.
I wonder what it sounds like. I wonder if it's scary.
It makes me imagine like an apple flying through the sky.
Yeah.
Like a big red apple with wings. But yes, but it's the half apple.
Yes,
it makes
true.
more sense. All right, let's hear what Annie has to say now.
课文提到，多亏了持续的保育努力，还有公众意识，东方草鸮获得了更好的生存机会了。好，来看单字 awareness， 它是名词，表示意识或者是体认、察觉。注意，它是不可数名词。那这边还有一个重点是 thanks to， 可以表达幸亏由于，它是片语介系词，后面要接名词或动名词。那它就跟 because of 意思相近，常常是用来指出正面的原因。例如，Thanks to your directions, we had no trouble finding the place. 多亏了你的指引，我们很顺利就找到那个地方了。好，那这话课文中。
All right, thank you, Hanny. So now we have a what do you think question, and it says, what do you think makes eastern grass owls such special birds? So, what do you think?
I think what makes them so special is that they are owls that live on the ground, live and nest on the ground and live in fields, and that makes them very special because most owls that I can think of live in trees or even in barns, but they don't live on the ground.
Yes, I agree. I think that is a very interesting part about them. I also think that they just look interesting. Like they kind of look like we talked about, they a little bit look like barn owls, but they're smaller. And of course, they look like half an apple since they have the nickname of the flying apple. So I think they're pretty cool. It'd be nice if we could raise their levels back up to an okay number in the wild.
Well, it's good that conservationists are doing something to help them, and hopefully they can do more so that we can maybe you can see an eastern grass owl in the wild someday. All right, let's review the article again, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Unfortunately, the eastern grass owl is under threat, and it's believed that there are fewer than 500 individuals in the wild. Because it lives on the ground instead of in trees, this owl is especially sensitive to changes in its environment, such as when fields are cleared for farming or building. Another reason for the bird's shrinking population is the use of pesticides to kill rats and mice on farms. These chemicals poison the owl too. In addition, grass owls face threats from stray animals and bird nets. However, many steps have been taken to help this special bird. Government agencies, conservation groups, and local farmers are now working together to monitor the owl population and protect important grasslands. Some farmers have started to use artificial perches to attract these owls as natural rodent controllers, which helps reduce the need for dangerous chemicals in the environment. Thanks to continued conservation efforts and public awareness, the eastern grass owl has been given a better chance of survival. Therefore, there is still hope that future generations will hear the mysterious calls of these flying apples echoing across Taiwan's grasslands at night.
最后，我们来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 unfortunately 副词，表示不幸地、令人遗憾地。agency 名词，表示政府行政机关啊、局处属或是表达代理机构。monitor 当动词，表示监测、监控或是密切注意。artificial 是形容词，形容人工的、人造的。那么 awareness 它是名词，表示意识、体认或者是察觉。文法的部分，我们第一个学到 it's believed 再加 that 子句，可以表达一般认为怎么样，句性怎么样怎么样。它也可以改写成主词 be believed to 加上原形动词。那第二个学到 in addition 它是副词片语，表示此外而且。第三个学到 thanks to 表示幸亏由于，那它是片语介系词，后面要接名词或动名词。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学们别走开，马上回来哦。
Hey, did you hear? Bob said that he got a free concert ticket, he met a famous movie star, and won the lottery all on the same day.
Do you believe all that? Sounds like he's full of beans to me.
Full of beans? What, did he win some beans too?
No. Full of beans just means that he's exaggerating or just making the whole thing up.
Oh, I get it. Well, I guess that story does sound kind of far-fetched.
Kind of? It sounds like something out of a dream.
Hi everyone, today's phrase is full of beans.
That's right. In slang, when someone is full of beans, it means they're talking nonsense or not telling the truth.
It can also suggest that someone is overly confident and boastful, but there's no real substance behind what they're saying.
Exactly. It's an informal, often humorous way to call out nonsense.
Here's an example sentence. He claimed he could run a mile in under 4 minutes, but we all knew he was full of beans.
Or she's always going on about how she dated a movie star. But I think she's just full of beans.
So next time you catch someone telling an unbelievable story, you can say they're full of beans.
Exactly. And that's all for today. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.